File in, come one, come all, our beloved New Jersey Devils very well may be one of the most cursed franchises in the history of professional sports. I don't think it's any exaggeration what is happening right now to this Devils club is just pure pain and misery. Pure pain and misery. For those that may not be aware, I'm sorry, guys. I hate to be, maybe overly dramatic or very upset, but right now your boy Ace is down in the dumps because we are now looking at nearly worst possible case scenario. Oh, welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And guys, there is absolutely no way to sugarcoat this one. No, there is not. A little while ago on the social medias, it was revealed that, in fact, our beloved New Jersey Devils will be going into battle tonight, not only without Brenden Dillon, but they will also be going into battle without Hughes. And my God, just when you thought it was bad, we got handled with nearly a full, obviously not Jack Hughes and Siegenthaler, but what we assumed was our full playoff roster. In game one, it was a rough go for the Devils. They were kind of punched in the mouth by the Hurricanes on Easter Sunday, looking for a monstrous bounce back in game two. And two of our top defensemen erased from the equation. Brenden Dillon and Hughes both will not be playing tonight, being replaced with Nemec and Dennis Cholowski. And, it's just, after the regular season we had with all the injuries, the ups and downs, it is just now, it's not even a conspiracy theory or just conjecture. I mean, this team is cursed with injuries. There is no other way to cut it. Last year we saw Jack, Dougie, Siegenthaler, Nico. I mean, everybody was hurt last year. And again, for the second year in a row, Nico missed time. Obviously, Jack's done for the season. Dougie missed a while. Siegenthaler again. And so it's just year after year, injuries to key players, and no worse time to suffer injuries than during the playoffs. And after a very, quite frankly, depressing game one for the Devils, they are now going into game two with even less of a roster and lineup than what we had in game one. And no Hughes is massive. And Dilly's massive too. Dilly has tons of playoff experience. He is a warrior. and they're being replaced with a very young, inexperienced guy in Nemec and a guy in Cholowski, which, not to talk smack, but, is more of an AHL quality defenseman. And here we are now. Now it's just every single thing that could go wrong has gone wrong. I mean, knock on wood, hopefully, nothing else goes wrong. Obviously, it could always be worse. But this is now a gargantuan task for the New Jersey Devils to respond in a game 2, going in there severely outmatched, at least on paper. I mean, it was pretty overwhelming in game 1 with both of those guys. Both play big minutes. It's just, wow. And now everyone's got to step up. Hopefully, Nemec can show that he belongs on the big stage once again. Obviously, we all know the kind of season he had in Utica for the majority of the season, was called up kind of in and out of the lineup, looking to prove himself. He had the whole thing with the quotes to the media, how he thought he should be in the NHL and blah, blah, blah. And people kind of ran wild with that. But in the end, this is now a potential redemption arc here for Nemec on the grandest of stages. What will you do with the opportunity, Mr. Nemec? Are you going to come in there and look like the guy that we all were hoping to get when the New Jersey Devils selected you number 2 overall? Number 2 overall. This is not like a late first rounder that you're like, I hope he, develops into a fine defenseman. No, sir. You were drafted with a number 2 overall. And listen, I hate, holding that over someone's head, right? Like, they don't control where they get drafted. But in the end, given how everything has played out this season, up until this point, this is a massive opportunity for Nemec on the grandest of stages. And will he take the opportunity and seize it? Would love to see Nemec come in there, have a monster game, and, maybe score a big goal, make a big play, big assist, whatever it is. Can Nemec prove his worth and really turn some heads tonight in this pivotal game 2? I mean, I'm just so disgusted right now, guys. I mean, it's just one thing after the next. We can't even stay healthy with the lineup we had, already missing key guys, and they just keep falling off the map here. And then obviously Dennis Cholowski, right? I think, a lot of us kind of scratched our heads as to why we got him at the deadline, with Casey and Nemec waiting in the wings. And it seems that, Fitzgerald and the Brain Trust really don't trust Casey's, defensive game at this point in time to throw him into the playoff fire. And that is why, it is kind of crazy to think, right, that even with Siegenthaler out, you would imagine if we suffered 2 injuries to the blue line in one game, you'd think like, oh, Casey's an automatic. But here we are, 2 injuries, and Casey's number is not called. It will be Nemec and Cholowski. And bottom line, they just have to step in and not look like they don't belong. We can't afford any mistakes. And to be quite honest, it is pretty worrisome stuff, in my opinion. I do think that Carolina is now going to be smelling blood. And the forecheck is going to be relentless. In practice today, Keefe, I'm jumping all over the place a little bit. I'm going to come back to defense again in a minute. But Keefe did switch the lineups as we, kind of thought about out loud. That would be a possibility. He did it late in game 1. Looking to get anything going. The offense looked completely brutal. And for morning skate today, we see a top line of playoff Palat, Nico Hischier, and Timo Meier. Now, we're going to need contributions from everybody. But, obviously, again, the big guns got to be the big guns. Top line with playoff Palat, Nico, Meier. Can we see playoff Palat reemerge? Can the Nico-Timo connection, that Swiss connection, can that be reignited to create some chances tonight and hopefully bury some goals? I mean, it's a big night for these boys. I'm hoping they find a way to get it done, because we are going to need to play lights out in front of Markey. And honestly, this smells like a game that if we have any chance to win, it's going to have to be like a 2-1, just completely defensive effort, galvanizing team victory. But man, no Luke, no Brenden Dillon. It really is a just complete gut punch. Then we see line 2, Eric Halla, Dawson Mercer, Jesper Bratt. Again, paging Bratter. paging Bratter. He's going to have to step up. A lot of people were critical of his playoffs in 2023, and a lot of people, even during his great season this year, were kind of like, well, do it in the playoffs. And here we are. Grand stage for Jesper Bratt to show the world what he is capable of doing, hopefully to see Bratter get it going. And then we see a third line of Paul Cotter, Glass, who is returning fresh off his injury via slash from Jacob Markstrom, and Stefan Nason. And a fourth line of Tatar, Dowling, and Bastian. So we have some lineup changes here. I'm sure Tuna is going to be out there giving it his all. And like I said, before the series, with the abundance of bottom six guys that we have, if Keefe didn't like a game, he has options to tinker with the lineup for the next game. And here we are. And so again, playoff Palat, Nico, and Timo line one, got to get something done. If we get power play chances, got to make the most of those. Special teams got to be better in this game. Hall, Mercer, Brad on line two. That's an interesting one. And then Cotter, Glass, Nason. I hope they go out there and just smash people. Cotter and Nason together have been interesting at points of the season. Earlier in the season, they made one of the best fourth lines in the league, and now we see them reunited on the third line with Glass. And then Tatar, Dowling, Bastian, just, don't get exposed out there, really is my only hope for them on the fourth line. If they could generate anything, that'd be great as well. And the pairs we have now, at least, these are subject to change, obviously. This is just what was, the looks in morning skate. A first pairing of Brett Pesce and Dougie Hamilton. These guys are going to play monster minutes tonight. I mean, my God, I can't even imagine. It's going to be an ungodly workload for some of these guys tonight on the blue line. But Pesce and Hamilton pairing one, Dumoulin, Kovacevic pairing two, and then pairing three, Cholowski, Nemec. I'm not really sure how I feel about having them as a pair because man, the Canes are just going to be, I can't imagine how aggressive that forecheck's going to be, especially when Cholowski and Nemec, if they do in fact stay intact as a pair, which I'd imagine they would. If that's what we see at morning skate, I'd imagine that's what we're going to see during the game. And my God, are they going to be trying to feast off of that pairing? Look out. I mean, that's basically a huge key to this game is, will that pairing be able to withstand the pressure that Carolina is going to bring to them? Because if I'm Brendamore, I'm just sending the world. I'm going absolutely insane every time they are out there. I am looking to make them feel that heat and cough up a puck in the D zone, leading to some scoring chances against Markey. But obviously, again, it's going to start with Jacob Markstrom, guys. And Markey, we trust. This is a game where if we're going to get back in the series, given everything we know now with these injuries, without Luke and Dillon, which is just sadistic, Markey's going to have to really, I think, give up one goal or less for us to win this game. I can't see us scoring. I mean, maybe we could get 3 in some miracle scenario with power plays, but I think the game plan here has to be to try to squeak out a 2-1 win, unfortunately. And obviously not very easy to do on the road against the good Carolina team in the playoffs. But I think a 2-1 New Jersey Devils win is really, the only way I could see them realistically winning this game. Markey and the defense have to shut it down. And now it's time for Nemec to put up or shut up. He's now on the stage he wanted to be in. Granted, because of injury and not, how he probably drew it up in his mind. But here we are. Dillion, Luke out. Nemec, Cholowski in. And I'm not going to lie, guys. It's nightmare fuel stuff. It really is worrisome. I was worried about the game, obviously, with the team we had last game. I mean, let's be real. With our full lineup, again, full lineup for what we knew, what we expected. We knew we were without Jack and Siegenthaler. So I'm, calling the full lineup the guys that we knew we were going to have for the last week or so going 2 weeks of the season heading into the playoffs. We had a full lineup and we were thoroughly overmatched. Now, again, because of the bipolar nature of our New Jersey Devils and how we could see a team on night A capable of losing to any team in the league, and then you see another team on a different night that's capable of beating any team, I am hoping that somehow, some way with this even further diluted roster, further diluted from game one, that somehow they dig deep and find a way to win this game. And I think it's all going to boil down to, can we win a tight 2-1 kind of game with Markey standing on his head and the defense locking it down? Got to stay out of the box tonight. Staying out of the box is going to be a big key to this thing. Obviously, we gave up a power play goal in game one. and 2 knucklehead penalties to boot, 2 of the worst ones to take, a too many men and a delay of game. I mean, those are just completely unacceptable at this juncture. In the playoffs, on the road, in a huge game like that, you absolutely cannot afford to be taking, bonehead penalties like that. But here we are, guys. Game 1 is down the drain. The beautiful thing about the playoffs is there is always a chance for redemption, and the New Jersey Devils have a big chance tonight, regardless of how the optics look heading into the game. No matter how much, it does not look very good and has a kind of grim outlook, this team has a chance tonight to go into Carolina, steal a game, and come back to the Rock all tied up at 1, which would be a world of a difference, obviously. Being down 0-2 versus coming back tied at 1 is, stratospheres apart. 1-1 coming back to the Rock, we have us a series and we have signs of life. But tonight, it is going to be a big, big night for those 2 gentlemen, Nemec and Dennis Cholowski. The spotlight is on you, my friends, and it is time for you to seize the moment and become maybe not necessarily a playoff hero, but to leave your imprint on a New Jersey Devils team so desperately looking to win a playoff round and advance to the Eastern Conference semifinals. But, guys, when I saw that, I was kind of sick. I thought for sure that Luke would be back, and I was fairly confident Dilly would be back. I mean, this is the playoffs. Guys play through everything. And so especially for a guy like Dilly, for Dilly not to be going tonight, I fear that it's something bad because the medical staff would probably have to keep him out. I can't see him not playing in this game no matter what. And here we are going into war without Dilly. And who knows, the crazy part is like, are they available for game 3? With the playoffs, you never know what the true extent of injuries are. The injury reporting, as you all know, is very kind of vague and sketchy, even in the regular season. The playoffs is an entirely different animal. And so, we may never know what the reality is. So, are Cholowski and Nemec here for as long as the Devils playoffs last? It's quite possible. I hope not. I hope somehow we find a way to muster up a win in this game too and have Dillon and Luke Hughes back for game 3 at the Rock. But the reality is that may not be the case. This might be our group for as long as this playoff run lasts. I am hoping for the best. You guys know I am a massive fan. I will always root for the boys, love the boys, but wow. Just talk about another kick in the nuts after game 1. I mean, and now we're going in without 2 of our better defensemen, and it doesn't get any better for this injury-cursed New Jersey Devils club. But I will now get to the comments here and see what some of you guys are talking about. But this is just really discouraging stuff. Joe says, Markey's got to steal one tonight. Let's go Devils. Yeah, I mean, Markey, he was a key to the series going in, and now down 2 key defensemen. This is going to have to be the Jacob Markstrom show from start to finish. And Markey, we trust. He's going to give us a chance to win this game if we're going to have any chance at all. Shoot says, Welp, low-key in a panic for tonight. Yeah, so am I. My anxiety just reached a new level. I was already kind of pacing around and, just looking forward to the game tonight, waiting to see how this team's going to respond. And now we get the horrific news that we're without these 2 fine gentlemen. And now it's time for Nemec and Cholowski to step up. Max, we are so cooked. I certainly hope not. What's going on, Ritter Engine? Shoots, just tell me everything is going to be okay and that we will for sure win. I wish I had that crystal ball to be able to tell you that, Shoots. I am just as nervous as the rest of you. Yo, Holmes, did I come at a bad time? I think so, man. We're down bad right now. This team's going to have to step up, and maybe Nemec could be an unlikely hero today. Maybe get a goal and a huge win. Michael Miranda, no Luke, no Dillon. We are so cooked. On the surface, I can't say that that's a crazy notion, obviously. I'm hoping it's not the case. But this team is in trouble now. This is now backs against the wall times 100. And how are they going to respond? How will this team come out tonight down 2 of their better defensemen? Josh, light that candle and say your prayers, guys. Ritter Engine, I'm at work and super pissed that this looks like another incoming L. Oh, I hope not. Going down 0-2 is going to be brutal, and I hope that is not the case. I would love to see a win. McQuell, me, and Dennis and Shimon we trust. Yeah, that's all we got now. They're going to have big games. Trying to fill some big shoes on the blue line, and how are they going to do it? Joe says, postmortem Devils Easter service, Ace. Yeah, this is bad. It's just, we're still in this thing, guys. It's if we can win tonight, everything's different. It's a big if, but win one game tonight and everything changes. Ryan, team needs depth. I feel like year after year we have the most injuries. Honestly, Ryan, we do lack a little depth, but in the end, with the absurd amount of injuries we had, like, depth is only going to help to a certain extent. Like, we just had injury after injury after injury. Like, there's no way to, kind of protect against it. The amount of injuries to key players that we've had, it's like there's no amount of depth is ever going to have you, in a favorable scenario when star players go down at this magnitude. The frequency of star guys going down is just completely insane. Max has cooked more than grandma's meatloaf. My grandma used to make a pretty good meatloaf back in the day. I don't think she overcooked it, but maybe it was a tad singed on the edges, if you will, from the oven. But man, yeah, my grandma made some good meatloaf. She didn't make a ton of stuff, but meatloaf was one of her specialties. Steve says, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. I mean, my thoughts are well known on this channel that I would prefer to make the playoffs any day of the week over not making the playoffs, but to make it in an unceremonious fashion, the way we kind of limped in, if we ultimately get smoked in this first round, it will definitely leave a bad taste in most fans' mouths, including mine. But here we are again with more injuries. It's just disgusting. Ritter, why is Keefe so stubborn not to let Mac? What do we have to lose? What is Bastian Dowling doing for us? It's tough, man. I think Mac would bring the juice, obviously, get the boys fired up. But in a series like this, he could become a liability. And I think it's just too risky at this point. This is super high stakes now. Obviously, every playoff game is the new game of the season. And, if Mac got caught up out there kind of in no man's land and was on the ice for a goal against, you'd never hear the end of it, of all the people going after Keefe. Why was this guy playing? It's kind of a lose-lose situation. But I didn't think he was going to have any chance of making the playoffs, to be honest. It's just one of those things where we have so many other quote-unquote more skilled guys in the bottom six that Keefe has shown his hand, that those types of players very much are his preference over a guy like McDermott. Yo Holmes says nobody trusts Cholowski. Yeah, but, what other choice do we have? I do think Casey probably is a little upset that, not only was he not the next man up, he wasn't one of the next two men up with two injuries, but I do think the idea of putting both Nemec and Casey in the same lineup in the playoffs probably gives Sheldon Keefe heart palpitations. He does prefer experience. He showed it time and time again with both defensemen, and forwards. He does put a value on the experience, and having two guys as inexperienced as Casey and Nemec, in a playoff lineup against a team with that ferocious forecheck like the Hurricanes could be recipe for disaster. And honestly, quite frankly, Nemec and Cholowski very well may end up being a recipe for disaster, but we don't really have any other choices, and we're going to find out tonight. A lot of questions are going to be answered tonight. What is this team made of? How do they respond? What does Nemec look like? And, can Cholowski just fill in serviceably and not get exposed? Alice, not to be dramatic, but why? Because we are the cursed New Jersey Devils, my friends. That is why the injury plague is here, and we're going to have to fight through it. I mean, what a story it would be if somehow this team could win tonight and then ultimately win the series. What a story it would be of overcoming adversity. It's nice to dream, right? And I'm going to continue to hold out hope for the dream until the dream is taken away from us. Zach W says, put a fork in the season, Max. No one trusts Nemec. Oh, yeah, everybody's just down bad right now. Ritter Engine, I'm about to hit the bar for lunch. I can't say that I blame you. Jay Snow, tonight's going to be brutal. I hope not. Imagine if somehow we're back here in the post-game celebrating with Victory Vodka, Victory Beverages, and somehow Nemec has a hell of a game and Markey stands on his head. Oh, man, I hope. So what, the game's at 6 o'clock, so the post is going to be like 9:15-ish. Yeah, I mean, oh, my God, that's like 8.5 hours away from now. We very well may be celebrating right here a New Jersey Devils win. It's nice to be optimistic, and I'm hoping for the best tonight. Josh says nail in the coffin. I'm going to say not so fast, but it's definitely not looking good at the moment. But listen, guys, you never know what could happen. This is the NHL. Brandon, this is how I'm spending my lunch hour. Usually not a doomer, but there's no way in hell we're advancing. Come on, Brandon. It's obviously a long shot, but all we got is hope, man. Keep hope alive. Spirit in the Sky says, hi, Ace. We weren't going to win anyway. Come on. This is really just defeatist loser mentality. It's now just widespread. It's an epidemic, honestly. Alex says, we are cooked, and Brad and Heischer we trust. Well, they're going to have to be two of the guys that get it going tonight, obviously. Would love to see Nico and Timo, the Swiss connection, take over a game on that top line. Wouldn't that be something? If there was ever a game for them to break out and take over, would love to see it happen tonight. Zach says, put in Big Mac. I just can't see it. I wouldn't be mad at it, but it is high stakes there. The highest of stakes. And does Keith want to be kind of second questioned in the event that Mac is out there for a big goal against? Rob, the season has been a wreck. I can't disagree with you, my man. Injury-plagued, inconsistent efforts, but here we are. Despite all of that, we are still here in the dance and only down one game right now. Staring down the barrel of a possible 0-2 hole, but I am hopeful that somehow, some way, this team could score 2 goals tonight and Markey could lock it down. In Markey, we trust. We are going to need a career outing from Jacob Markstrom tonight, where there's just one of those nights where it feels like there's a force field around the net and nothing will get by Markey. Yo Holmes says playing Cholowski is a slap in the face to Casey. I could see why you would say that. I just think, Keefe is trying to avoid that much inexperience in the lineup all at once. It is a lot. And with that forecheck, he has Cholowski and Nemec as a pair in morning skate. I mean, what would you think about the optics of a Nemec Casey pairing going into tonight? I mean, it's slightly more scary. Yeah, Max, you're not kidding. Brendan Smith sounds good right now. Yeah, Brendan Smith would sound really damn good right about now. It's just crazy. Casey will get destroyed. I think so. That's the thing. It's like maybe against another opponent, he would have had a better chance to crack the lineup with these injuries. But with the forecheck, the way it is, I just feel like it is a very bad matchup scenario for Casey where we could see some shifts. We saw them last game as well, where even at 5-on-5, it looked like a Hurricanes power play. Like, that cannot happen tonight. We got to get the puck out. Get the puck out. Jay Snow, no way this Devils team could ever last 4 rounds. Well, I mean, it'd be great to win 3. We'd be losing 2 guys every we'd be 2 men down after every series. But I don't know, guys. They just got to find a way to steal one. An absolute theft tonight. Dwayne says the Devils have won 3 cups in the last 30 years. The Leafs, for instance, have 0 in the last 55. Oh, the old, it could always be worse. Random Man says, fire the athletic trainer. But again, for people, to me, this is even worse than everyone blaming Rogalski for all the scrub goalies we had over the years kind of sucking. Like, how could the trainer, how could he make these weird injuries not happen on the ice? It's not like they're happening because the players aren't prepared or something. It's a plague. It might be the curse of Lindy. I don't know. A black cloud is lingering over this franchise where and it's not just injuries, it's injuries to key players. It's really something else. I've never seen anything like it. Steve Smith, it really does seem like our guys either aren't durable enough or put themselves in positions to get hurt. I think it's more of just the makeup of the players that we have. They are just injury prone, a lot of them, and it's unfortunate, but I'm certainly not going to blame the athletic trainer for it. I mean, how the hell is it his fault? Putz Monkey team is made of glass. Like, yeah, it just, for whatever reason, there's certain guys that seem to be injured all the time, and it seems like we have several of them on this team. It is what it is, and it's next man up, and now we're going to see what this team is made of going into this game 2, severely shorthanded, with even more kind of AHL level players than the previous game. And we're going to see how they respond. Does Keefe have any tricks up his sleeve? Is Jacob Markstrom going to stand on his freaking head and steal this thing? Spirit in the Sky, there have been great games in the playoffs except for the Devil series. I mean, again, guys, in fairness, it's been one game. Let's give it some time. I did catch some of the Stars-Avs game last night, and Blackwood had some big saves in the loss. What a battle that one was. Zach W says Devils can't dance their way through the playoffs if they don't bring their dance shoes. Putzman, you're going to start sneaking into the Devils locker room and needling them so they could get bigger. Steve Robinson, the candle in the bottle says it all beautifully. We're up against it, boys. It's bad. Oh, Carson's talking smack. No, Hughes or Dillon. My Canes should be walking all over you guys even more. See, things like this. This is what they call bulletin board material. I hope Keefe is showing the team, because if I was the coach, I certainly would be showing him all of the shit people are talking, articles, video clips, and I would say, this is what the hockey world thinks of you boys. Are you going to let these jokers be validated and go down in flames? Or are you going to dig deep and stick your foot in their mouth and up their collective arse? Which team do you want to be? Max says Luke and Jack should straight up chug whole milk all offseason, become Phil Kessel. Man, remember the Got Milk commercials when they were like, I don't know if that was like the FDA or who the hell was there. Maybe it was the Department of Agriculture. I don't even know who was behind that. But for years, there was a huge campaign of like Got Milk where they would show people like in a, like with like this, like, you know, very plain studio background with a milk mustache holding a glass of milk. And they would use like hot chicks like Cindy Crawford. You know, they would use athletes, famous people. Quite the campaign, Got Milk. And I feel like that kind of, you know, completely disappeared over the years. But some of you older people will remember what I'm talking about. Dennis says the Hughes brothers are just so injury prone. A lot of guys are injury prone. Zach, injection of protein and creatine with a side of roids. Dwayne says Luke might need surgery too. This is his 4th shoulder surgery. Have they come out with that detail yet? Or are you just kind of spitballing here? I certainly hope he doesn't need a surgery. That would be pretty damn depressing. Jay Snow, it's insane watching other playoff series and watching the Devils. Yeah, other teams. You know, it does seem way more intense, and you see a way more cohesive kind of gameplay with quality scoring chances and such. Obviously, you saw the Oilers score a shitload of goals after being down big time last night, but this Devils team does not have that kind of firepower up front on offense. Unfortunately, we do not. Yeah, Max, this is a misery meeting. I can't say you're wrong. Oh, my God, I'm super far behind here. You guys are very chatty. Let me just try to scroll ahead here. Off them Devils, I think we win tonight 5-4. Oh, my God. Outside of being a completely overwhelmed and joyous with a victory, a 5-4 victory is certainly not one I have on my bingo card. I think, you know, if the Devils are going to win, it would have to be like 2-1 or 3-2. I'll take a win any way we could get it, but 5-4, my God, is pretty wild. Yeah, Max has put Casey. The Casey to wing stuff is crazy. That guy wrote that article is crazy. There's no way they're going to put Casey at winger, and that would be a recipe for true disaster, in my opinion. Yeah, they put Casey in the wing. I mean, wow. I just can't see it. Go Boro says, so 4 out of our 6 starting teammen are out. Holy shit, I don't think any other team, maybe apart from the Oilers, have had that much of an injury crash. It's not 4. It's not 4. It's essentially 3. Yeah, 3. Luke, Dilly, and obviously Siegenthal are still out. Dwayne says, can't wait to see them without Hughes and Dillon out in 4. Oh, boy. The negativity's at an all-time high. Putz Monkey says, bet the mortgage on a sweep. Nicole, jumping on between back-to-back clients. What is with the candle? The balancing is on point. Yeah, it's just a very grim kind of time right now. You know, I'm playing the grim music. Dennis, bottom 6 needs to step up. Yes, they do. Everyone needs to step up. We need contributions from somewhere. We got close to nothing in game 1. What are we going to see in game 2? What are we going to see in game 2, guys? People calling for Fitzgerald. I mean, that's a whole separate side issue. I'm sure we'll have lots of those kind of talks come the offseason. But for right now, I just want to see this Devils team find a way to win game 2 and get back in this friggin' series. And we're going to have to really do it now. Really going to have to dig deep without Dilly and Luke Hughes. Uncle Puckers, what's up, boys? Get the bottle ready. Oh, the bottle's so ready. The bottle is so ready. I wish it wasn't as ready as it is, Uncle Puckers. But wow, fellas, we're in one now. We were already backs against the wall, and now we're without Luke and Brenden Dillon in this game too. I hope we could only find a way to dig deep, and it's going to start with Markey. Oh, man, imagine a Markey postseason shutout. I mean, I'll take a 1-0 win. I will take any win. If it's 10-9, 7-6, 5, I don't give a shit what it is. A win is a win. I will be ecstatic, but I'm thinking it's going to have to be a low-scoring affair. This offense has been anemic. We lost more offense from the blue line without Luke Hughes, and I'm looking for a 2-1, 3-2 kind of win tonight, and it's going to start with Markey standing on his face. John NJDevils 45, let's shock the world tonight. I would love to see it. I would love to shock the world. I think it would have been shocking to the world even if we were at full strength. And now with Luke and Dilly out, I think it would be even more of a shock. But this is what good teams do. Now we were going to see, will the real New Jersey Devils please stand up? Because here it is now. This is it. Everything on the line. You're either in a tight series at 1-1, or you are well on your way to the golf course down 0-2 going back to the Rock, hoping to just win one of them and avoid being swept. I mean, that's the reality. That is the reality. What is this group going to look like tonight? Rapid Blue is the new back. Well, if Nemec was waiting for a chance to redeem himself, this is it. Completely agree. He wanted to be in the league all season. He had those quotes, was in Utica majority of the season, called up late, in and out of the lineup. And here we are now. Injury has thrust him right into the spotlight, and what is he going to do with it? I'm hoping for a monster game out of the kid. I really am. He's either going to thrive on the stage, or he's going to wilter and crumble, which would be devastating on so many levels beyond just the playoff series and game that he's in. But Jeff, Ace, love the Zephyr hat. Hate the news you speak. Is this a Zephyr? Oh, yeah, man. You got a good eye. I can't even remember. I have so many friggin' hats from back in the day. I can't remember what's what, but very good eye, Jeff. This is, in fact, a Zephyr hat. Lots of negativity in this chat. I'm trying to stay a little upbeat here. A lot of you guys are super, super negative. Oh, my God. It's bad. Amagi, what's up? Crazy to think we were so excited in the beginning of the season and things collapsed to beyond rock bottom at this point. But listen, guys, it is grim. I am burning a candle. I am in the red light district. This is an emergency press conference. But, well, there's two things. There's two things I'm going to say. As of right now, we are still only down 1-0 in the series. Everything can change tonight. And I understand it doesn't look promising. There's not much for people to be optimistic about, given how game one went. And now we're in there for game two without two of our better defensemen. But the reality is we're still only down 1-0. And if you need something else to brighten your day, this is not going to brighten my day much, but I know it'll help a lot of you. And just so I'm here, Uncle Ace is here to try to help your mental psyche out just a little bit if I can. For those of you that will be super ecstatic about this, we're 26 months away from Quinn Hughes becoming a New Jersey Devil in free agency. And so if nothing else, you could look towards how bright that future is. That future is solar eclipse bright. Luke Hughes will be a New Jersey Devil in about 26 months on July 1st, 2027, when he signs on the line that is dotted in free agency, reuniting all three Hughes brothers on an NHL team. It's going to happen. If you're not up on that scenario, situation, if you haven't heard about all that, check out the video I released, I guess, this morning about the whole Quinn Hughes drama. Slurp says we need bionic players. Yeah, we need something. Maybe they should start wearing titanium equipment. Oh, the dooming is at an all-time high right now. My God. Huh. If we lose tonight, I might not even do I'm going to have to do it, but it's going to be brutal. I would love nothing more than for some of you to be silenced with a massive W tonight. Steven, I like the third line. Cotter, Glass, Nason should be line next year also. Yeah, I mean, ideally, I think that is a pretty sweet third line. The reality is, because of all the other holes on the roster, these guys were kind of bounced up and down all year long for Keefe trying to make magic again, with a roster that had lots of holes, including the biggest one being, we don't have that true scoring winger for the Jack Bratter line. And these guys had to play in elevated spots because we didn't have. The cupboard is bare. No forward depth whatsoever. I do think, Gritsuk coming over next season will maybe help us kind of recalibrate and get some balanced scoring. But for right now, Gritsuk ain't here, which is a whole nother topic for another day that I'm not thrilled about. But on paper, I do like Cotter, Glass, Nason. Again, we saw Cotter and Nason earlier on in the season, I think with Halla. I think they started with Halla, or maybe it was Bastion. I forget. It may have been Bastion, Cotter, and Nason. Either way, they were a pretty damn good-looking fourth line. But again, because of all the holes we had throughout the lineup, it was a short-lived line, and they had to play up and down the lineup to try to, for Keefe to get something going. Slurp, the violence needs to be emphasized tonight. Every chance to hit something has to be followed through on. Otherwise, Canes will get stronger as the game goes on. Yeah, hitting is going to be at a premium again. It's going to be at a premium again. And hopefully the bodies hit the floor and it can make a difference. I mean, they did a great job hitting in game one, but it ultimately didn't do much in terms of winning the game. Stanley, Ace, pass what you're smoking. Just look at tonight's roster and try not to laugh. It's an insult to playoff hockey. Listen, my thoughts have been well documented on the reality of what this roster has been for a lot of the season. And I've said, credit to Sheldon Keefe. A lot of coaches would have got much less out of this group with the roster. And so obviously, yes, I'm a little upset that this is our playoff roster too. But in the end, continuing to be negative and harp on it is not going to do anything anymore. These are the guys we got. These are the horses we have. And you just got to hope for the best. Obviously, do I wish the roster and the lineup for tonight was much better? Absolutely, I do. But now all I could do is sit here, light my candles, drink my beverages, yell at my television, and hope that our New Jersey Devils somehow gut out a monster road playoff victory. That's all we could do. That is all we could do. What's up, Paulie? Glad I ate lunch before jumping on here. Yeah, it's not a great state of affairs right now. Joaquim, if we go down 0-2, do you think we still have a chance? I mean, anything's possible, but I'm going to say no. I firmly believe the series is over if we go down 0-2. Again, first team to win 4 games. Could the Devils still win the series? Yes, but the chance is super, super, super small. Winning 4 out of 5 against the Hurricanes is tonight is pretty much the Devils' season. If they want to make this thing a series, they have to win tonight. Ryder, I've been high on Nemec and defended him thus far. Well, here is his chance to dance. You're not kidding. This is a huge situation for him. Huge opportunity. Will he make the most of it? Is he going to look like the guy we all hoped we got with a number 2 overall? Find out tonight at 6 p.m. Weird start time. Shimo Nemec, the light is on you, kid. Let's go. Bastion of Lonely, over-under on Pesci minutes tonight should be 32. He never got the chance to be the top guy for us in Carolina, but here's his shot. Oh, he's going to be playing heavy minutes for sure. Him and Dougie both, and Kovacevic. I mean, they're all going to be playing big minutes because that third pairing is going to be protected as much as possible. It's going to be another kind of subplot of the game is how do the first 2 pairs hold up to the intense amount of minutes they're going to have to play. Samuel says we get swept and I'll bet dollars to pickled fish. I don't know that I've ever heard that saying before. Nico runs ASAP in free agency. Again, I'm trying to be a little upbeat here and hopeful for tonight's game. I have talked about my thoughts on, the whole situation with Nico looking into the future. And I do believe it's not nearly as much of a foregone conclusion as many believe that he is just, going to be here long-term and wants to be on the Devils forever. I think more than anything, Nico Hischier is a fiery competitor and he wants to win a cup. And I think he's probably going to need to see some things happen before he really believes this team is truly looking to win. And so, I'm very nervous about that. Again, that's another topic for another day. I have talked about it briefly. But Vic says, no, this sucks. Might not watch after hearing that awful news. What kind of fan are you, Vic? You got to watch it no matter what. Cody Skill says, going down 2-0 in the series, we have no chance. It's not no chance, but it's very, very slim. Like very, 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 very slim. Bastion of Lonely. Everyone's saying the Devils have already lost game 2. Has never watched the Hurricanes play against the goalie. I still have nightmares about UC Saros. Yeah. But the Devils are just cursed right now. Bastion of Lonely. It's pretty bad. Samuel says, one of these years, the Devils will figure out how to beat the Canes forecheck. Would love to see it tonight. Oh, God. Yeah, the dooming is just terrible. I can't even believe there's this many people in here. Shout out to all of you. Appreciate you coming out for a little midday. Oh, my God. I'm probably going to do a pregame, which is going to start probably at 4. I'm going to have to get off here soon. I mean, I got things to do. This is a distraction. This bombshell news really threw me through a loop. Nick Adams, the ultimate doomer, or one of the ultimate doomers. It really doesn't make a difference. The series is over before it started. Come on, man. Stanley says, Ace is at the bargaining stage. I'm highly anticipating the acceptance stage where he just goes off. Cannot wait. I've gone off plenty of times. This season has been a very disappointing, Stanley. I'm very realistic about it. But now we're at the point where I just need to hope to see wins. I mean, what else am I going to do? Constantly live in negativity like a lot of you guys? Paulie says we need to get Dano and Bryce to put the mic down, grab a stick, and get out on the ice. Hell, throw Rachel out there, too. Man. Doug says, I love Jack Hughes. He's my age, and he's been playing the highest level of hockey at 5'10" and 170 pounds going up against grown men. The odds are stacked against him until he's fully grown and bulked up. I hope we see it happen. I hope we see it happen. Nick Sports, I love it. Devils in 5. Would love to see that. James says, incoming Brat, 1 goal, 1 assist. Meyer, 2 goals. Nemec an assist, +2. Markstrom, and 947. That certainly looks like a... that would certainly look like the stats for a team that won a game, I'd have to think. That looks like a game-winning stat line there. Not boozing yet, but soon. This news has really gotten me down in the dumps, and I'm hoping the boys find a way somehow to pull it out. Dennis says Markey with a shutout tonight, 2-0. Wouldn't that be special? Doug, they can't give up more than 2 goals. They won't keep up with the Canes. Yeah, I mean, I think 3-2 is the highest scoring game we're realistically going to be able to win. Kyle, we went down 2-0 against the Rangers. It's never over. Yeah, but again, the one thing I point to right away is that remember that 22-23 Devils team did rip off a 13-game winning streak. Holy shit. 13 straight games. This Devils team could not win 4. I forget what the final number was. Did they have 4 or 5 3-game winning streaks this year? However many it was, they bombed in game 4 every single time. The 22-23 Devils, on that criteria alone, a 13-game heater. This team couldn't win 4. Very telling. Largely a lot of the same components, but, you know, some of the complementary depth pieces are different. And, yeah, just in a vacuum, sure. Can you overcome a 2-0 series? Absolutely. And it's even crazier because we had home ice in that series. And so we lost the first 2 at home. But Akira Schmid, guys, franchise legend, he came in there, changed the whole series around, and it is never over. But I do think back to, you know, that 22-23 team, it does seem like in the end that 22-23 team was in fact better than this Devils team that we're seeing this year. And I do think this Hurricanes team is better than that Rangers team. And so in the end, it is a little bit different of a scenario, but point taken, it is never truly over. But look at what the teams, what the teams have done. It's not exactly encouraging stuff to go down to 0-2. Celluloid therapy. I wonder if this has anything to do with the country club atmosphere that Fitzgerald has cultivated. Not enough workouts, not enough conditioning. How has this become a hallmark of Devils hockey? How has anything become a hallmark of Devils hockey? We are just so far removed from the glory days, and it's fine. But this team has to consistently try to win. Going forward, that 22-23 season should have been the turning point, and it feels like now we've done nothing but take steps backwards since that season. Obviously, missing the playoffs last year was tragic. This year, we kind of backed in. And the injuries are just something that doesn't stop. The injuries are just completely insane. Oh, my God, Louie. Talk about loser mentality. I would take a loss looking competitive at this point. Asking for a win feels like asking to win the lotto. Dennis says, still think Devils in 7. Mary, what's going on? Just signed on and rewinded. Love the candle vigil ace. I don't know what more they want from us fans. This is brutal. We need a win tonight. We need, maybe drink some chicken blood. Is there something to that? Once again, let's go Devils. Michael, I'm betting on a primary assist for Nemec on a Canes goal. Oh, man. You guys are brutal. Carson, I remember round 1, game 2 last year here. Down 3-0, facing adversity, and the comeback to win 5-3. I'm excited for game 2 this year, boys. Bring the battle on. Not yet, but very soon, Natural Canopy. Very soon. I still got a long day, and I still got the pregame and a postgame and to watch the actual game. Steven says Quinn will be here before he hits free agency. I hope not, because that means we wasted assets to get him. It's not worth it. Just wait. Completely free. Completely free. Richard, drives me crazy how it's all this is our year. I think we will prevail and beat the Canes. Then they lose one game, and I don't see it happening. It's a 7-game series for a reason. Natural Canopy says someone needs to lay a massive open ice hit. Yeah, I would love to see it, but the guy that I would have said was most likely to do that would have been Brenden Dillon, and he's not playing tonight. So, why is the sermon? If we use that LTIR money, we wouldn't be so cooked right now. Completely agree. Again, not going to harp on that. I've talked about it millions of times. You know, it is what it is. We got the troops we got. We got the troops we got. Resting Guitar Face, I'm just getting in on this. WTF, why does this season hate us? Any word on how long Hughes and Dilly are out? Come on, man. It's the playoffs. You know you're never going to get concrete information. There'll probably be, game time decision every game for however long we're in the playoffs for. It is what it is. I'm not mad about it. It's gamesmanship in the playoffs, but it's super unfortunate and a super gut punch that we are now without these two fine gentlemen going into a game 2 that we so desperately need to win. James says New Jersey Devils Beer League roster, Carolina minus 270 or Carolina minus a goal and a half is a lock of locks. Oh, boy. Oh, I'm not worried about it, Kyle. I just brought it up because it was a major news story, so I wasn't going to ignore it just because it's playoffs. It's not like I'm talking about that and not the playoffs. I've been talking about the playoffs, a ton, but the Quinn thing was super newsworthy. Had to bring it up. Carson says you guys won't get swept. Canes' history on the road is not good. I'm a bet it's 1-1 at the Rock. Evan says, brutal ace to hear this news, but all we could do is hope we stun Canes with a connected effort. And guys come out pissed that they're being disrespected by virtually everyone. Still NHL players, let's go. Yeah, I hope that they're seeing some of the shit people are talking and they want to prove them wrong. But tonight's going to be a big one. Tonight is a big one. Tommy D says, this is crazy. Doesn't anyone work anymore? Go Devils. Noah says, Ace, if I'm you, I'm doing rituals. Yeah. Connor Allen, do you think there are any players or players for a certain role the Devils should be looking for in the offseason? They're not going to be able to do much. Realistically, they should be looking for bottom 6 guys that could provide some sort of offense. That's my only kind of hope for the offseason. We need to improve the bottom 6. I do think at a minimum, Gritsuk will take a bottom 6 spot. I would love to see him be able to take a top 6 spot, but I'm not going to count on that for now. But in terms of our forwards, Gritsuk will be an improvement. Maybe 1 or 2 other young guys from the system kind of emerge in training camp, and maybe we get 1 or 2 in free agency. But outside of that, our major move in the summer is going to be Luke Hughes' monster extension. Carson says Canes don't lose the first 2 at home. They haven't over the last 3 years, and it won't happen. What, they win both of the games? Samuel said the 22-23 team could score. Now, not so much. Yeah, that team could score at will and gave up a ton of goals, and now we're the team that gives up less goals but we can't score. It's like it's always something. Snell says Taylor Hall going to have himself a series. He'll have the most points of all players in the series by the end. I don't think that'll be the case. If somehow he's the leading points scorer, that would be pretty crazy. But again, not to keep beating a drum. I wanted Taylor Hall back in, it was either January or February. I made a video saying I thought the Devils should have tried to get him. I thought he would have been a perfect ad, but it didn't happen, and he ends up going to the team we're playing in the first round. It is what it is. Chicken blood, we were down to voodoo. Brian, Devils in 6. Funniest thing you ever... Oh, come on, Brian. I'm never going to pick him not to win, bro. Steve Smith, the Devils continue to fail to become perennial contenders again. I really don't know how long we could keep our core. Well, one of the members of the core might leave on his own. I don't want to get too much into that. I'm still trying to stay. Positive. Just threw all my money on the Canes. Oh, no. I hope you lose all that money, bro. I hope the Devils cost you dearly. At this point, get Frank the Tank on the roster. Nick says the Devils season will be over on Sunday. That's how long they'll be out. Oh, that'd be brutal. A sweep? Come on. Put Jack Hughes on Liver King's diet. Michael, we need a center and a top winger. At a minimum. Notices I'm down bad, too, after that Knicks loss. I don't watch hoops, but I did see that they lost. Connor, do you think the Devils are going to keep any of their deadline pickups? Dumoulin, Glass, Sprong, Cholowski. I think Glass definitely. And I could see Sprong being maybe a 50-50. I don't think Cholowski or Dumoulin are back. But that could always change if somehow Fitz trades another one of the defensemen that I would have had kind of slated in the opening day lineup. So it's possible, but if I had to guess, I would say Glass for sure. I would say Sprong is a toss-up, and Dumoulin and Cholowski, I would say no. But subject to change if they trade a different defenseman, obviously, freeing up another spot. Nick Adams says the firing of Tom Fitzgerald needs to be announced at the end of Game 4. Well, I hate to break it to you, Nick. That certainly is not happening. Certainly not happening. David Chimes, good team play can overcome even these injuries and will still have more star power than the Canes. Get the pessimism, but dooming is too much. I'm not dooming. I'm being realistic. I still think they have a chance to win, but it's going to be largely contingent on tightening up that D some more and Markey stealing one. 1-0, 2-1, maybe 3-2 type game. Evan Diehards, like myself, always going down with the ship. Hey, you never know. If we could tighten up defensively and not give them open slot shot chances, and then please get pucks on goal. Freddie, test him. Sign Frank the Tank. Nemec is going to score on a bomb tonight. Would love to see that. Would love to see a Nemec bomb. Val, it's all happening because you're all nonstop crap about me, SST, and Woodson. But hockey gods see everything. This team sucks, but most importantly, the coaches and management. Oh, God. Another person who wants to be right about the Devils being terrible. Louis says Hamilton, Hall, and Mercer Plot all got to go. Replace them with players that can play up to their contract. Mercer, more. I think Dougie has a bad rap. I don't understand. Dougie is very valuable to the team, despite him maybe being slightly overpaid. He's far from one of the biggest problems on this roster, but I get why people kind of pick him because of his $9 million contract. But there's way more issues on this team than Dougie Hamilton, and he will be missed when he's gone. Mark my words. People will understand what he brought when he's no longer here. Should you eat it? Just put McDermott in there and injure some Canes. Man. Doug says Val thinks he's in the same tier as SST and Woodson. How sweet. I'm pretty sure Val is SST rather. All right, guys. I think I'm done for now. I'm just so upset that we can't catch a break. We cannot catch a break, and the New Jersey Devils just injury-plagued season continues once again. We will be going into battle without Luke Hughes and Brenden Dillon. It's quite a tall order. I'm hoping for the best, hoping this team finds a way to prevail. They really have their work cut out for them. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I will be back for a pregame, probably at like 4-ish, maybe. I'll see what other things I dig up on the day. But thank you all for coming out to this impromptu kind of emergency press conference here. Hit the thumbs up on your way out. I'll be back for a pregame and obviously the postgame. Devils need a big win tonight. And that's it. I'll see some of you in the pregame. I'll see some of you in the postgame. I'll see some of you in both. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.